I wanna get what to go up in it. Get ready! Get ready, get set, school is live.
Ask questions, learn more, build your life. Hey.
Connect now, show up your future's bright.
Skill up, stand out, this is your time.
Skill up, skill up. We are learning, live again. Skill up, bring your question.
Let's begin,
Let's begin,
let's begin.
ask, learn, grow, build your questions. Let's begin, ask, learn, build your questions. Let's begin, ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin,
Let's begin.
ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin,
Let's begin.
get ready, get set, school is live.
Ask questions, learn more, build your life.
Connect now, show up your future's bright.
Skill up, stand out, this is your time.
Skill up,
Skill up,
skill up,
skill up.
skill up, skill up. Bring your question.
Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask, learn, bring your questions. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
Ask,
Skill up, skill up, skill up, skill up. Bring your questions. Let's begin. Ask, learn, grow.
Are you a Gateway participant with a question, concern, or complaint? We want to hear from you, and this is how to reach us. Send your concerns, questions, or feedback directly to support@gateway.cchub.africa. Once your email is received, you'll get a response within 72 business hours. If something feels unsafe, wrong, or uncomfortable, you can report it right here in the portal. On your dashboard, click the Report a Concern button, fill in the form, describe what happened, attach any evidence if you have, submit. You'll get confirmation on screen straight away. This reporting channel is available only to registered Gateway participants. Reports are confidential and sent directly to our safeguarding team. You may also email safeguarding@gateway.cchub.africa. We also have dedicated addresses for training and community inquiries. We are committed to supporting your journey every step of the way.
Hello, Gateway Tribers. Good afternoon. You're welcome to today's school session, the Gateway Program School Session, where you ask all your questions concerning your course, concerning the course content, your assignment, portfolio tasks, and the capstone. You're welcome. Good afternoon. I can see everyone so busy in the chat now. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, Umar. Good afternoon, Okpeyemi. So let's know where you're joining us from in the chat session. Let's know where you're joining us from in the search session. Yes. Abdusalam from Kano. Good afternoon. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, Okoyemi Ogun Daily. You're welcome. So, where are you joining us from in the chat session? Are you joining us from Lagos, from Ogun State, from Oyo, Rivers, Edo, Enugu? Let's know that in the chat session. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I can see that some people are already excited for this session. Good afternoon. So, this session is for the growth pathway, the general gig work course, where you ask all questions gig work course to the training provider. So I hope you've written down your questions. I hope you're ready to ask your questions. So all the questions you've been asking concerning your portfolio tax, all the questions you've been asking concerning your capstone projects, the questions about the content of the course in the elements discussion forum, you can ask them here, and also you pay attention to the training provider and the facilitator that will be giving us more in-depth content of the course and very practical lessons we need to learn for the general gig work course. Okay, I can see Malite from Delta State. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. You're welcome. I can see Ali from Kano. Yes. Favor Kingsley from Lagos. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, some people are already getting very, very eager to ask questions. I can already see questions coming up. Okay, I need more explanation about business marketing. Okay, you're going to get that on this session. So be patient and listen attentively and ensure you stay to the end of this session because all questions you're asking will be answered by the training provider. You're welcome. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. Okay, I can see from Ogun State. Where are my Enugu people? I can see from Edo State. Viz, you're welcome. Okay, I can see from Ogumosho, Oyo State, Ajiboye, Asimiyu. You're welcome. Enugu, where are you? Okay, finally I can see Enugu. Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. People from Ogun State, you're welcome. Favor from Enugu. Okay, Kano, you're welcome. Yes, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the session. So before we'll be bringing up the training provider, we'll be playing a quick game before we bring up the training provider. We want to see our very active learners on the elements. If you know you've started your course, we want to know how well you know your course, how well you know the content of your course. So it's a game, guys. You never can know if I will give you a gift. So I want us to participate and please do not open your LMS. Just put it down in the chat session. As I ask the question, don't delay, put it down in the chat session and also indicate the state. So I will see the winning state for this session. So can someone just give us the 5 or the 4 modules? The 4 modules of the general gig work. What are the 4 modules of the general gig work course? The 4 modules of the general gig work course. So if you know the 4 modules of the general module 1, you tell us module 1, you tell us module 2, 3, and 4. What are the title of those modules? The title of the 4 modules of the general gig work course. Let's keep our answers coming. Let's keep our answers coming. Yes, Ismail Mohammed, I can see you have a question. You will ask a question. But for now, let's participate in this game. Then we will ask the question. We have the time for you today. It's between you, the training provider would ask the question. So what are the 4 modules for the general gig work course? So let me see the active learners on the LMS and those who have learned the course by heart that they've not forgotten what they learned. So let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Where are my answers? Come on, guys. Where are my answers now? Growth pathway. You are the professionals already in the field. So where are my answers? What are the 4 courses, the 4 module content titles of the general gig work course? Module 1, what is module 1? Yes, you're welcome, Oluwaseun from Ogun State. So the question, we are playing a game, a quick game before we bring up the training provider. So we want someone to mention or list the 4 module courses of the general gig work. Come on, guys, are you saying that you don't know you don't know your modules, or you've not started learning, you've not started your course? Okay, someone is saying orientation module 1, general gig work module 2. Okay, we'll see the winner at the end of this session. We'll see this. Is that correct, everyone? Do you agree with him? So let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Module 1 for the general gig work course. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. You can ask your question. Don't worry. There's time for question. When it's time for the Q&A, you ask your question. But for now, participate in the session now. The gig work course, module 1. What is the title of module 1? What's module 1's title? What's module 2's title? Growth pathway. Come on, guys. We had this session in the morning for the foundation pathway, the women, and they did very well. Are you saying you've not started your course? Are you saying you don't understand what you're doing, or are you saying you don't know the name of what of the contents you are on? The first 4 modules of the general gig work course. Okay, someone is saying the first is orientation, general gig work, business management, financial management. Okay, thank you, but no, you're mentioning the courses on the LMS. No, for the growth pathway. I said for general gig work, we have different modules. So you're going to give us the first 4 modules. The first four modules. Module 1, what is the title? Module 2, what is the title? Module 3, what is the title? Okay, Joy from Lagos, yes. Okay, beautiful, Joy from Lagos, the introduction and the mindset of gig work, module 1. Thank you, beautiful. Oh, I can see the ladies are winning already. From Lagos, the ladies are winning. Guys, where are you? The ladies are winning already. Beautiful, Dennis. I can see the introduction and mindsets of gig work. Wait, hope you are not going to the elements to go and check. Why am I getting answers now? But keep it coming, keep it coming. What about module 2? Keep it coming. Yes, we've gotten our answer from Lagos. Keep it coming. What about module 2? Someone is saying growth pathway 1. No, that's not the answer. Okay, introduction and mindset gig. Okay. Ismail, yes, correct. So what about module 2? Module 2, module 2. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Keep it coming. Come on, why do I have a feeling that you're going to check your LMS? Why? Have you forgotten your course? But keep it coming, keep it coming. We'll soon round up the session. Keep it coming. Beautiful. 2, yes, from Rivet Technologies, positioning yourself in the general gig economy, Positioning yourself in the gig economy. Beautiful, beautiful. Keep it coming. What's module 3? What's module 3? You're not putting your state, so I don't even know the state that is with. I'm assuming it's Lagos State, because Joy indicated a state. She gave us the first module. So Rivet, from where? What state? Because you've given us 2 now. Yes, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. You're welcome, Jamilu. We're playing a game, so you give us the modules for the first 4 modules of your general gig work course. Yeah, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Yes, I can see someone say craft your professional edge and profile hook. Is that the first 4 modules? Is it among the first 4 modules? Ask yourself. I can see platforms, clients, and contracts. Rivet, I'm suspecting you. I'm suspecting you. Why are you getting this from? Yes, keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. Yeah, this is interesting. Okay, keep it coming. Oh, Marline's positioning yourself in the general gig work. So someone has mentioned 3 correctly. Okay, Joyous TV. I can see the 3rd one. So the 4th one, who will be the first to give me the 4th one? The 4th one. Morning matters and work tools. Please, let's clap for Adviz. Let's clap for Viz. Let's clap for him. They've said the answers. So now, so I can see you're now motivated. Yes, morning matters and work tools. Kano. That's good. Thank you, guys. So let's clap for ourselves in the chat session with the emoji. Clap for yourself. Clap for yourself. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. Yes, I can see my active learners. They're just bringing the answers in. Abdusalam Idris, Rivet Technology. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. So the first 4 answers are Module 1, the introduction and mindset of gig work. The introduction and mindset of gig work. Then the second module is positioning yourself for the gig economy. Positioning yourself for the gig economy. Then the third one, we have platforms, clients, and contracts. Platform, clients, and contract. And the fourth one, money matters and work too. So this one is about money. So everyone got it. So clap for yourself. You all tried. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves. So for this session, hope you're getting ready for this session. So all the questions, difficulty, because I know you've been sending emails to the training mail. You've been asking about clarity on your capstone projects. Some persons will ask, I don't really understand what they want me to do in my capstone project. If they can explain further, and I don't really understand what they want me to do in portfolio tax. I need more explanations. So this is the right place to ask those questions, because the training provider and the facilitator, they are here for you, and all your questions will be answered. So guys, get ready for your answers, for your questions to be answered, and get ready with your questions. Please ask questions related to the course. Ask questions related to the course. So let's welcome our facilitators today. Let's welcome our facilitators. Please clap for them in the comment section. Clap for them in the chat. Clap for them in the chat session. We're welcoming Ope, the CEO and the co-founder of SKULE Paddy. They were also welcoming Martini. Sorry, Martini. I can't pronounce that. Also welcoming Martini, the grandmaster of gig work. Anything about gig work, he has very good experience on all the platforms. So anything you want to ask him is the best person. So you're welcome. So over to you. Ope. Thank you.
Right, can you hear me now?
Network issue there.
It's okay. It's back. Okay,
Yeah,
are you back? Are you ready?
Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yes, I
Can you
can.
hear me?
Yes.
All right. Sorry. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here. Good to be here. Good to be here. And I can see that the chat session is already buzzing. So today is going to be very, very enlightening, very hopefully motivating, and I believe that everybody will leave here with something to take home that they can actually, add to what they already know. All right. So my name is Okwe, as I was introduced, and so what I will do is just do an overview of what the gig work, the Gateway Gig Work program is about, especially for those on the growth pathway, which I believe that's those of us that are here. And then I'll also answer some questions that came through the community session. So if you have been asking questions in the community session, we'll take some of those questions, because some of them, we can see that some people are asking similar questions. So we'll take some of those questions, and then later on we'll have Martini talk to us about how to position yourself on a gig work platform. And the case study today will be Upwork, I believe, right? Okay. Well done. Before I get into the core of the conversation, can you just, in light of what you started, so that I don't kill the energy. So can somebody just drop, why are you in gig work? Why do you want to? What's your motivation for doing this? Can we get some comments around your motivation? Why you, participating in this program? What made you start? Why are you here? Just give us some comments, so that we can also understand, where you're headed, and we can guide. I know a lot of us will say money, but yeah. So you can start dropping those in the comment section, and then I'll just look at a few, and then we would have the conversation proper. So why the gig work program? Why you, why did you, choose to sign up for this course? What's your motivation? What is sort of driving you to be a part of this program? All right, I'm still waiting for my first comment. Um, but while I do that, obviously, we know that this is a program that helps. Okay, thank you, Abubakar, to learn and make money. I like you. I'm sure it's more of the making money, but yeah, to improve more in my task and be a CEO myself. Yes, so everybody wants to be a CEO. That's a talk another day. Talk about
Yeah.
what it takes to be a CEO.
Yeah.
Martinez is laughing because he knows what I'm talking about. All right. My
Also,
namesake says to build my skills. Oh, I missed that. But yeah, to build my skills. That's from Okoyemi Alao. Thank you. Okay. To build myself more on the skills. Okay. Fantastic. Upskilling in career to earn more money. Fantastic. Yeah. Yep. Yep. To get more information to position myself well to deliver value. Yes, I love that. I like position. Yes, yes, that makes sense. Emmanuel says passion and financial stability. My brother, you're on point. Financial stability is very important. So Dennis says to upskill and learn how to give the right value. Okay, I like your perspective on giving the right value. Sulaiman says to learn valuable skills and financial stability. Okay. Money and freedom, wisdom. No wasting of time. Straight up, money and freedom. You know, um, I want to become a freelancer and earn money from home. Yeah, so this one is very clear. I want to do remote work. To get my information to position myself well to deliver value. Thank you, Robertin Technologies. Maybe I'll take two more, three more. Passion and improving my skills. That's from Beyond Reality. And then Mohammed says to have my financial independence.
mhm.
Brother, we all want that.
Yeah.
To build my skills in digital marketing and give myself the necessary knowledge to ensure I can get global jobs.
About
Okay,
jobs.
okay, good, good. Well. To have another source of income and become independent. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. These are really, great
Mhm.
inspirations, and you can keep them coming. Self-dependency, problem solving, yeah. And the reason why it's important to start from here is so that you are clear on what you are looking for, right? And you can plot your way or your path to what you're looking for. Right. So the good work program definitely will help you do a lot of these things that you have mentioned. It will help you for those that want to learn. You are going to learn. In fact, everybody's going to learn. That's where you start from. So learning is going to help you build the right set of skills, and then it's going to also help you money. So that's where the earning comes from, making money. So help you monetize those skills. It will help you position yourself, right? Position yourself in the market, whether in your current career path or in a different career path that you choose to sort of go for, depending on what your interest is. So because the good thing about gig work is that what I've seen is that a lot of people, learn. They're in professional 9 to 5 career path, and they are able to learn a skill that gives them additional income. So it's not. For some people they're just starting, which is fine, but other people is that hey, I'm an accountant, I'm a doctor, I'm a professional lawyer, I'm an engineer. I'm doing something that is already, that I learned from school, but I want to be able to learn something else that can help me get more income on the side, right? And for some people, they just want to do remote work from the get go, right? So whichever way it is, the gig work program definitely speaks to your case, right? Whatever your whatever position you are in, right? So basically, the program cuts across different areas. First of all, it talks about the Nigerian landscape. Then you also get to know a lot about how to position yourself, how to carve your own niche, which I'm sure we'll talk about later today. You also get to know how to serve your market and your customers, because we all know the phrase "customer is king." So the way you actually grow in this industry is by serving your customers well, because recommendations are gold in this industry, right? You need referrals. And so if you deliver something that is poor, you deliver poor standard work, then you will not go so far, right? So I think the most important thing, the mindset you must have as a gig worker, is that I'm here to deliver value. I want to deliver value. And I think somebody said that I want to deliver the right value. So you must understand the right value. And value, the way they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I also believe that value is in the eyes of the person receiving it or the receiver. So if you, for example, somebody does a job and say, "Oh, I did my best," and then the client says, "Oh, this is not what I want." Don't say, "After all, I did my best." Yeah, you did your best, but it's not the best for the client, right? So
Mm.
you must always think about the client in what you're doing. So, but let me leave that and go to the questions, because that's why we're here. So I'm just going to read out a couple of questions from the session, and then I'm going to answer. So let me see. I like this one from Damie B. William. So Damie B. William is asking, if a client asks for just one more small change for the 10th time, is that in the contract or do we just suffer? I'll take that again. It says that if a client says want one more small change, and that is like the 10th change that you're requesting for, is that in the contract or do we just keep changing, right? So the truth is that when it comes to the kind of work you do as a gig worker, you must have clear terms and conditions, right? Because I know that, especially if you're somebody that is in the creative space, where you're graphic design or UI UX, we all know that design can be subjective. So you think you've done an amazing work, and the person says, "Oh, change this, change that, change this." So typically, what you do if you're in that sort of space is that you should have a rate for your work, which obviously factors in some kind of iteration. But beyond that, also you should have like a maximum amount of iteration. So, for example, if I do a graphic design work for you, this is what I'm charging for this work, and this is how many iterations you can make. So I can say you can make 3 iterations, you can make 4 iterations, you can make 5 iterations, right? So you should have a standard so that before you go into the conversation, the person already knows that I have 4 iterations. And once they make one, there's nothing like small. In an iteration, an iteration. So once you've made a change, that's an iteration. And that's why so for example, if you send your work and they come back and say, "Oh, can you just quickly change T to I?" The first thing you should say is that, "Please, would you like to review everything entirely and give me your overall review and overall feedback and what you change, so that we can get everything at once?" And once they've done that, you can say, is this all you would like to change? If the person says yes, then you go ahead and make the changes. So that's iteration one. If they now come back, if you send it the second time and they say, "No, this blue, I don't like it, I want yellow." But the first time you said I should move from red to blue, now you want yellow. This is iteration two, all right? The third time they say, "Oh, remove this logo and put it at the bottom. Is that all you want me to do?" Yes, this is iteration. Please note that this is iteration three. After this, you have one more iteration. For example, if you have only four, and they've done that by the fourth time, you're going to ring the alarm bell that after this, no more iteration, right? So that the person understands ahead of time that that is what is the terms, right? So don't enter into a conversation or a work that you have not already given those terms ahead of the
Yeah,
job.
absolutely. Oh, I would like
All
to
right.
also add something to that. Can you hear
So,
me?
okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I'd like to add something to that. Yes. So another thing which is very important is if um, in addition to everything you said, if a client is requesting for another change, the question is why? Like, who is actually responsible for the reason why that change is needed? Because there's some times where gig workers, a, gig, a client can request from a gig worker to make a particular change. The gig worker makes the change, but doesn't make it properly, right? And then the gig worker already marks that as one iteration, right? So the question is who's responsible for the reason, who's the responsible for why that change needs to be made, right? Where it's considered an iteration. I think it's also important to add that as a context. If you know you're the one responsible for that error or that situation, you should not necessarily term it as an iteration of its own. This is something I've experienced myself, and what I've had to do is ensure that if I'm responsible for something, then I don't count it for them, right? But if they are responsible, like you tell me to make this change, cool. Tell me to make this new change, cool. Make this new change, cool. Okay, then we're done. But if it's still within the things that I was supposed to do that I didn't do or I didn't get right, it's not necessarily considered an iteration. So that's where fairness really lies. And I think gig workers need to have that in mind, right? Where does fairness lie, right? Yeah, and it will be a successful project.
All right. So thank you very much, Martini.
Thank
Well,
you,
well
Roy.
said. Another question I'm going to take, maybe I'll take three more. And please feel free to, you can also drop your questions in the chat and I'll take them. I just wanted to take the ones from the community. There's somebody, Sally Sushago, says, how can someone know, understand their niche? How can somebody know or understand their niche? So basically, I mean, I think this is all about self-awareness. So you must understand what you're good at, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what you can do on the fly, and what you struggle to do, right? So, so very good with numbers, good with calculation, and I'm sure you must have already, those are kind of people that do well in math, do well in physics, and all those science courses. And then some people are very good on the creative side. They are very good with colors. They can match. There are some of the great fashionistas when they match colors. You like, wow. So they are good with colors, good with, they can tell you, oh, this thing doesn't look nice, this thing looks nice. They can, they're the ones that are able to make sense, of, the creative space, creative in nature. So you must know yourself and know what your strengths are. Once you know what your strengths are, then you look for the course that fits your strength. So, for example, if you're a very, very strong creative person, then obviously you should be thinking about things that are visual in nature. So, graphic design, UI, UX, video editing, even as a developer, front end instead of back end, because that's also visual in nature. So, anything that appeals to your creative side, that's what you should lean towards. But if you're more of a thinker, and I'm not saying, I mean, everybody's a thinker, but if you're more of an analytical person, let me use that word, then
Yeah,
you want to do things that are more around problem solving. So, things around digital will be a good way because it has its analytical side, it has its creative side. You can also look at, data analytics, kind of like business analysis. You can look at, um, what other course, so anything that has to do with numbers, right?
numbers. Yeah.
Those are things that can, you can tilt as a gig work, yeah. if you're more analytical. So yeah, so that's sort of how it works. So look at what area you fall into in terms of your strengths, and then look at the courses that fit into those strengths, and then go for it. Yeah.
And
And
an
then
interesting
sometimes you just
thing,
have to try one thing, and then it leads you to something.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
and an interesting thing is most times people already know, but they've not just explored. I met someone many years ago who asked an interesting question that as a gig worker, what would you do if if you got paid the same thing as if every payment for every type of job or every type of skill was the same? What would you choose, right? Or if you didn't get paid for anything and there was no money needed at all, what would you still find yourself doing, right? That's most likely a foundation for what you don't choose. Like you said, some people are good with, just dissecting things, seeing a concept and trying to investigate further into it and all of that. If you're in that direction, you can find something that is more related to data and data analysis. Like what I do, an aspect of that really has to do with a lot of analysis to data. And the people that thrive most in that sector are people who ask the right questions. So when you analyze to the point where you can ask the right questions, you are able to succeed in such area, as well as many other areas as well that apply. So most times people have these foundational, attributes that they can apply. So the real question is, what do you actually find yourself doing when you are not looking to get paid, right? Then use that as a foundation to find where you can apply that into areas that people get paid into. So at the end of the day, you find yourself enjoying every single day of your work.
Okay. So someone is asking here. So I'm just going to take maybe one more. Somebody asking here that was so I he's saying, can I use AI to create a professional portfolio? I think this is for you. Can I use AI to create a professional
Yes, yes,
portfolio?
yes. Yes, you can, very
What AI
straightforward.
will cause?
So I mean, I should maybe drop a note on this AI thing. Yeah, AI is good, but the moment, so people have gotten to the point where they become so dependent on AI that they themselves are no longer thinking, right? And that's where the problem is, right? The part where we as humans support the AI is in judgment, right? Because you have way more context than the AI has. The AI has as much context as you give it, right? So if you want, for example, AI to build you your own portfolio, that would be pretty straightforward, right? But in the end, you need to give it all the information about yourself and maybe tell it about your taste, so when people see your portfolio, don't let them see 10 other portfolios that they've seen before built with AI and see your own and say, this is all the same thing. Give it taste, right? These are the colors you like. This is what's the font you like to work with. This is the tone you like to go with. So don't lose all those things, right? Because you want to do less, right? The most important thing is that AI is to amplify your efforts. AI is not to become you, right? So if you can use AI to amplify your efforts, amplify yourself, that's the best use of AI.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And
Okay.
remember, AI is supposed to be artificial intelligence, which means it will ride on your intelligence.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
you have
yeah,
exactly. So you have to give it the right
yeah.
thing to work
Things
with,
to
and
work
then
with.
you get the best output.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But you should be able to be the
All
portfolio within
right. So one
five, 10
question.
minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it just makes it faster.
yeah.
All right. So let me take one question. By the way, you can. I'm not seeing any questions. Is
Oh, some
the
people have shown some questions
chat
in here.
section?
Yeah,
Oh,
in the chat.
really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Taking a look. Okay. I would look at it. So let me take one more. See. Um, somebody says that how I'm just. I saw the question. Okay, right. What are
Position
practical
yourself.
ways to build credibility and attract first clients? Sorry? Okay. How
Yeah, I
can
thought you were
one
reading one of
position
them.
them? So let me take this one. Abdul Salam. Yeah. It says how can one position themselves as a graphic designer and website development in global marketplace like Upwork, Fiverr, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook? Wow. You have a long list right there. So I'll start, and I think maybe Martini can sort of jump in.
Okay.
So the first thing is, again, don't be everywhere for this main for just the reason of being everywhere, right? Focus on delivering value, right? And what do I mean by delivering value? Own your skill first. Ensure that you are good at what you do. And I'm not saying be 100%, but at least be good to be able to present what you do, right? And I mean there are standards for this thing. So do a lot of practice. Do a lot of practice. A lot of people just you've done 5 designs and you think you're already great to go to the market. Don't see because the market is very competitive. Sometimes the only opportunity you
Mm.
get is the first chance and the first
Yeah.
opportunity,
Yeah.
right? So, and if you miss that, I'm not saying you won't get others, but yeah, you have to start the cycle again. So, instead of don't be in a hurry, right? And understand that you want to make money, but focus on becoming the best at what you do. I mean, I think that would be like one of the best advice I give to you. If you are the best at what you do, trust me, people will start talking to you, people will start referring you. Just do that thing for 1 or 2 persons that you know, even if it's for free. They will be the ones to say, wow, this is an amazing job, right? They will even be there, you should be on this channel, you should be on this platform. Oh, I have this person, I have that person. And I'm a case study, right? Um, my number one mantra as a person is to be the best at what I do wherever I find myself. So I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not competing with the market. I'm just competing with me. So being the better version of myself every day, right? And that's my competition. So what I've done today, can I improve it tomorrow, right? And what that has done for me is that even in rooms where I'm not actively looking for opportunities, people just call me that, hey, I know that you do this thing. Can you help out in this area? So my point is that first of all, focus on developing your skill. Make sure your skill is tight. Once you've done that, then the next step is easier. Because sometimes people want to market a bad product, right? You want to force a bad product, down people's throats. No, focus first on building your skill, ensuring that you're
Yeah.
good at what you do. And how do you do that? Just continuous practice. Yeah, with graphic design, especially as a graphic designer, just design anything. Look at brands, look at
Mm.
products, and
Designing.
design something. You don't need someone to give you a brief. You can create
Yeah.
your own brief. Tell AI to give you a brief of 20 different
Yeah.
opportunities and
Yeah.
just be creating stuff, creating stuff. Once you've created a lot of work, right? And then you can now build a portfolio with that. Trust me, when people see that, I've seen people that they are not even finished school, but they're very good at what they do. And people were willing to, forget the fact that they don't have a BSc or they don't have, no, they were focused on the quality of their work, that this guy is good at what he does, or this lady
Yeah.
is good at what she does. So be
Yeah.
good at what you do. Then the next thing is that obviously look for 1 or 2 people that you can share your work with. They can give you some feedback in that space so that they can also help you. Don't rate yourself. Let senior people rate your work to say, hey,
Yeah.
okay, you're
Please
doing
go on.
bad, you're doing great. Maybe you need to improve in this area. So let senior people vet your work. So talk to other people.
Mhm.
I just want you to look at my work and give me feedback. When you've done that, then you can now start talking to people. Say, hey, I'm a graphic designer. This is what I do, and start with your immediate network. And then you can also go to channels where you've built some form of strength, right? So I won't say just go to look for the channel where your strength will make the most for you, right? So if I'm stronger, if what I'm doing is visually effective, is visually appealing, then I'll go to Instagram, right? I'll put a lot of my things on Instagram just because I'm attracting maybe small business owners that can see my work and ask me to do stuff for them, right? So that's my advice. So it's not about spreading yourself across channels. It's about number one, being the best at what you do, getting proper referrals, and then starting from the immediate network that you have. Martini,
Thank you, Owe.
the thoughts.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, in addition to what you said, it's about creating value and then making yourself visible, right? But first off, you have to create value that people consider worth paying for, and then you stay visible, and in the end, sometimes projects will find you, right? So that value is most important. There are a lot of people today, and I realize that that's happening a lot today. A lot of people are starting with positioning even before they know how to even create this value. Like it's upside down, because you find yourself positioning yourself,
Mm.
but then the value, you don't really know how to do it. And at the end of the day, you just have so many failed projects, and that affects the individual's brand. In terms of, I propose that, because this is how I did mine. Your first portfolio is works you did for yourself, right? So there are stages of this portfolio. First portfolio are works you did for yourself, you used to learn, to grow, all you did for yourself. Then from that point, you use it to get people for the next portfolio. Who are the next people in that next layer? Those are your family, friends, and connections, right? People within your network. Those are the people that will build your next layer portfolio, right? And you're going to ask for honest feedback from them, right? Because it's no longer from you, right? About your project, right? They need it for something useful, not just random, right? So family and friends are people who are customers of other people, right? So find those people, right? Do these things for them, get feedback, make sure they are satisfied. Not that you collect money, make sure they are satisfied. So that becomes your next portfolio, right? Then the next portfolio after that from family and friends work is the one that you build from businesses, right? But guess what? From the family and friends and your network, you've been able to get raw feedback, right? Honest feedback. You get testimonials. Make sure you always build reviews, and you're able to build case studies. Businesses find it easier to work with you when you have case studies about how you've helped somebody achieve the same goal they're about to achieve for them. They want to see it, and they want to be able to picture themselves going through that experience and achieving that outcome with you, right? So through family and friends, you get testimonials, build case studies of the work you did for them, and that's what you to sell to businesses, because family and friends might be a little bit subjective, right? But in the business world, there's a high level of objectivity, and case studies, testimonials would help. Them would make it easier for them to make work with you, because the real question is, which is a something that passes a lot, is if I were to be this person, would I hire me for this work? If you say no, please don't disturb them. If you say yes, push it forward to them. Because I think that then answers the question, because you can then take that, put it on your choice platform, right? And from there, with your case study and testimonial, which this extends into what we are going to be talking about today on how to build your Upwork profile. I'm going to walk us through exactly how I did mine, and it's still the same principles. And that's what's going to help on platforms like Upwork, which, like OA said, is a highly competitive space, right? So you have to bring your A game. If there's A plus, you have to bring that. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. You know, that's said from
Thank you.
a professional, a master in the game. So I think right now maybe we'll just go straight into Martinez beats so that he can take us through how to build a quality portfolio for yourself. And I believe the case study for today will be Upwork, but I'm sure it applies on other platforms
Yeah.
as well. The thinking
Yeah.
is the same. The platform
Yeah.
may change. All right. So
Yeah.
Martin, so please let's make sure we
Thank you.
listen carefully and then you can ask questions. There'll also be a practical session. So yeah, over to you.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I'm just going to, walk us through a number of items, and I hope that we're able to take notes and apply. All right. Not just take note, but also apply. And I hope it's useful for us. 1 minute. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Martini, and I've been an Upwork gig worker for uh, possibly close to a decade now, right? Yeah, close to a decade now. And I'm just going to be walking us through, a number of interesting things that, we can do to help us, grow on any platform. And basically, this we're going to make it super practical. Going to be walking us through how to set up our accounts on Upwork and any other platform. So it's not really it's Upwork is what we're using for our case study, but I'm going to be really talking about the thinking, right? And the thinking would apply across any other platform that you choose to be on. Before I step into it, I'll talk about platform choices. Interestingly, I was on Fiverr and I was on Upwork. A friend of mine who had introduced me to the platforms as well was on Fiverr and I was on Upwork. As we went on, I had gigs on Fiverr, I had gigs on Upwork. He had the same, but his gigs on Fiverr were way more. He had more jobs, and then he decided to focus on Fiverr fully. For me, Upwork was home, right? I had way more, clientele on Upwork. Fiverr didn't do compared to that, and then over time, I pretty much settled on Upwork. Right now, I don't think Fiverr is the best, is the most favorable platform. Many people, Nigerians who are on, and this is just a tip, many Nigerians who are on, what's it called, Fiverr today, are kind of, moving towards other platforms because Fiverr have created a model that is not necessarily favorable to Nigerians. They do more of the selection for the clients now, right? So if somebody wants a gig, they get the gig, they kind of select the people they give, and you know how they'll do it. They'll possibly prioritize Westerners than Africans, and also depends on your profile. But the people I'm talking about that are on Fiverr, that are my colleagues in my network, are really really high highly profiled guys on these platforms. But you know, gigs on the platforms drastically dropped for them as well. So there's this level of segregation that is happening on Fiverr. I'd advise you don't put so much of your effort into it, but if it works for you, all the best. But I would advise that you also explore other platforms that are more about who has the best work and who can put those works out there, right? Upworks. There are many other platforms and platforms coming as well, right? So I wish you all the best with that. So right. So yeah, building an Upwork profile that works for you, right? So the most important thing is making the most of what you have, right? By the way, I said I'm going to make it practical, so I'm going to walk across Upwork. Useful, and people who already trust you as well. You can use those for your profile. Like I said initially, um, your first portfolio is your work that you did for yourself, right? So just doing a lot of work for yourself. The next layer portfolio is family and friends. Now, this family and friends portfolio you're building, like I said, has to come with a case study because you are literally solving an actual problem for them. It's not just, oh, let me just do work for you for nothing, right? You have to meet the people within your network that really need that thing, do the work for them. It doesn't have to be the standard price because you know what you're looking for. It's more of a subjective relationship. So what you really want back from them are honest feedback. And after you really satisfy them, you want a testimonial, and then you want to build a case study, right? First things first, you want from that is your honest feedback. You also want to build. You also want to ensure you satisfy them and get actual testimonials, not testimonials because you're my brother, testimonial because you meant it, right? Then the third thing is you build a case study out of that engagement you had with people within your network already, right? You can post your work on your WhatsApp. People who already know you, right? And people who need this service, tell them you're happy to. I met a particular individual. He created 10 videos, for 10 brands, and he did at a very subsidized price. For some, he did free, right? And he got feedback, he built case studies, and with that, he started using to get gigs from brands. So the model or approach formula can be replicated in any field that you find yourself in. Right, so, and this is what I applied on Upwork, and I'm going to show us exactly how I did that. So you need to do real work done before joining Upwork, and it counts as proof. Existing relationships, you have to thrive on that. And you need to turn both into a profile that ranks and converts, right? All right, let me try to take us further down to a number of things. So if you look at this, as you can see, these are testimonials that came outside of Upwork that I put on my profile, right? And these are people who I had already worked with before time. Now, this individual is a friend. This individual is someone who I did an actual work for, but was in my network. And this is also a friend who was in my network, but also needed the job, right? So these are people who I already got outside of Upwork. And then Upwork has this thing where you can literally bring them in. You can request a new testimonial, and then you literally just start bringing them on board, right? They would have to approve. Once you create it, they would receive an email from Upwork to verify that this is true, right? Once they do that, you bring that on here, and then you move forward with it. Not only that, so I'm trying to control exposure as much as possible. Yeah, okay. So the other thing then would be this, right? As you can see, I have quite a number of projects in my portfolio. If I could scroll way, way, way down, the very first set of projects are from these individuals that are brought on board. Now, let's go back to it. So portfolio selection, section rather, and this is what I was just presenting. One of the most important things you need to make the visual attractive, right? You need to make the visual attractive. Let me close this one. Right, so you need to make the visuals. You can see every visual that I put on a project has to be super attractive. Why? What am I trying to get there? I'm trying to attract attention, right? If you're not a designer, you can pay a designer to do a design for you, or get somebody as your friend to create a design. It's very important. It's already applied outside of, outside of work. People make things attractive so that people can approach. I'm sure you would understand what I mean by saying that. People make things attractive so that people can approach. So you apply the same principle here. You make your design, make your case study or portfolio super attractive with really good designs that attracts people, because things that are aesthetically pleasing always attract people. Hold on to that because it's super important. The next thing then is present each project as a case study, right? Let me move. Okay, so present each project as a case study, right? Yeah, sometimes I choose to explore some other approaches to this. As you can see, this is literally a result achieved for a brand, right? These things are things that attract people, right? As you can see, this is a full case study. It's based on so Upwork gives you an amount of, a limited number of characters to apply. Make sure you make best use of it. You can use AI to summarize what you have, what you've prepared already. So this brand was attended to, and there are a couple of results, as you can see, that was achieved for them that were added, because naturally you want to show the journey, where they started, and then what you've gotten for them, because that's what people really want to look at when they come on your profile. Now, what to add? Projects completed outside of Upwork. By the way, the one I just shared with you was gotten on Upwork. The ones I shared earlier were gotten outside, right? You want to show a short caption on each piece, the problem, your role, and the outcome. And show when you're bringing stuff from outside, and really, this is even outside of Upwork. because I see this a lot even when I want to work with some gig workers. Please put your best foot forward. Put your best work out there. You know, some people's portfolio is you have a lot of outdated materials there. Take them out. Don't leave them there, right? Because it can deter a customer from, working with you. So only leave your best work there. Only your strongest, most relevant work, and quality over quantity. You don't need as many as you saw me do that, because you saw me. I have that many because I've been doing this for quite a while. For you, just put as many as you have that actually are the top quality, right? If it's two, put two there. If it's four, put four. And keep doing as much as you can. So the next point is the testimonial section, which I just showed us. So quite a number of these are testimonials already gotten on the platform, but these are the ones I brought outside. And for the sake of this is for beginners, so I'm just going to talk fully about these testimonials. Now, these testimonials are pulled outside of Upwork, and the real goal there is to take advantage of relationships that you've already built and people that you've already added value to, right? You take all of that, build these testimonials like I mentioned, and then have them verified. You can see here, verified for all of them. So once Upwork has verified, the person has confirmed, Upwork will, approve. And then the other thing you need to take note of is you can always even manage the visibility. For example, I made this one not visible, I made this one not visible, I made this one visible, this visible. So you get to choose. So you really get to control what is shown to your prospect, right? So the most important thing you need to understand is be thinking brand. Think brand. Think brand first. Think brand first, and every other thing will follow, right? So you need to present things properly, But like as much as I'm saying, think brand, right? Your brand must not be empty even when they now decide to come on board, right? We see that a lot now, right? People have, done all the good work in positioning themselves, making their profile look absolutely perfect, but they do shitty work, right? So it's important that you for yourself, I mean, it's important for every gig worker to, have the integrity of knowing that you do good work for people, right? And, and I saw a lot of people say, oh, I want to make money, I want financial freedom, I want all of that. But the truth about it is that in the global space, integrity will take you farther than any other thing, right? So have the right integrity, really know how to do the work, not because you want to collect someone else's money. Nobody is looking out to just give you money, right? People want to exchange. It's an exchange. So if I'm going to exchange my money for you, you're going to give me something in return. You need to have integrity on the fact that you give these people this thing. And it also helps you sell better, right? When you're selling, you come from the when you're selling, your best sales speech will be when you're confident about the product. You'll be worse at selling when you're not confident about what you even sell. I know there are some people who are outliers of this who can sell things that they don't really believe in. So have the integrity of the fact that you can really ask the people. Don't just say it because you want to collect their money, right? Know that you can, and then work towards getting the value. Wealth comes after that. Freedom comes after that. But until you do that and really get good at your work, like Owe mentioned, keep it. So the testimonial section, I think we've hit this. Right to meet the person they want to work with. It signals confidence and professionalism. It's around 30 to 60 seconds. You need good lighting, all of this blah blah blah. You start for a testimony. So it's a competitive space, right? And what you really want to do is I do this and I do this and I do this it for you, right? So you see that. Now, the question for you is, if it were to be you, would you pick somebody else who sold it for themselves, or you pick me because somebody else said it for me, somebody who was happy about the work? And now the interesting trick to that, because I mean, well, I'm keeping this practical, which is what I wrote here. It didn't come free, right? I did really good work for this particular individual, and then what did I do next? I offered him something free, like an add-on. And I mentioned that I'm going to give you an add-on. I just appreciate if you make time for me to create a testimonial that I can put on my profile. It was a win-win for everybody, right? And then he did, right? And he's not the only one. I've been able to do that with quite a number of clients. So that's something you can also apply, and I mean, it will do great for you. So I wish you luck with that. Okay, questions. You can type it in, and I'll be more than happy to answer the questions after the presentation. Okay, so positioning, title, and two lines, right? So this is super important, right? What you want to ensure that you state exactly what you do, right? And from an outcome perspective, right? You state who you help. So you don't necessarily just say, "Oh, I help this to do this." That's not how it works. I'm just going to keep for privacy reasons, I will not be able to present. But the best is make sure that your title says what you do and for who you do it for. It's super important, right? Don't just say I do SEO or SEO. No. It has to state SEO. It has to, for some reason, state who you do it for. And in the world where everybody wants to do and be everything, trust me, the key is to do just a handful of things for a particular market. It helps you stand out a lot, right? So not I'm a designer, I'm a designer, developer, copywriter, this one, all of that. It makes you look confused. And literally, because we see that a lot in the generation we find ourselves in. You just look confused, right? Have one thing, know that this is what you do and this is who you do it for, right? And then who you do it for, you can even spread that a little bit. Right, it's for this, and this. But you do just one thing. Make sure you're able to separate your hobby from, what you do to create and deliver value in contribution to society, right? So it's important. Upwork had to do something very recently. I hope I'm being as practical as possible for everyone. Please let me know if you need anything clarified, right? So Upwork did something. Upwork provided 3 profiles before, 3 profile descriptions. Then very recently, they removed 2 others. They want people to just focus on one profile description because many people are positioned to do 2, 3 things, right? So, I mean, the profile will automatically make you do that. So in terms of what you achieve one outcome. So within that outcome, there might be other details of things that makes that outcome. So you come and you say you achieve this outcome for this particular audience or this particular target audience, right? And that particular outcome could require many other things, right? Just be clear on what the outcome is and just focus on that outcome. People would communicate who you are serving as well. And when you do that, people will be able to select your profile, know that, oh, this is speaking to me, this works for me, and then go with it. Yes, so I'm just going to breeze through this so we can get to creating an actual profile, right? We'll just go through the onboarding of an actual profile and then keep it at that. So, keywords. This is a super important thing, right? When building your profile, keywords are important, and now you need to apply these keywords everywhere. So what you do first, okay, I think we should go into practical now. So what you do first, okay, I hope you can see my screen. Okay, fantastic. All right. Yes, so, I mean, this is a profile, the new profile, for the sake of this presentation. So this is the onboarding process that, oh, by the way, please don't be moved by this $65 an hour. Um, I see a couple of new guys who come on Upwork and then you see $100 an hour, $200 an hour. No, that won't work for you, right? And one thing I'd advise you do is before you create a profile, the very first thing you should do as a gig worker is go on that profile and explore it as a buyer. Then you'd understand the reality and it will help you know how best to position yourself. Go on it as a buyer, explore, look through it, literally try go to the point of almost hiring someone, right? But don't click on a boosted profile. That's a lot of money somebody used to boost profile. So don't waste people's money. Anyone who you see is not boosting their profile, you can click on it and look at it, see how their position, see their rates and stuff like that. See because sometimes we position with prices that the top people in the industry are positioning for, and you literally have two projects. You have no profile on Upwork, no testimonial from inside Upwork, and you expect that the buyer will choose you. You yourself might not choose you at that point in time. You choose the other person. So those realistic things are very important for us, right? So please, if you're just starting, don't put $70 an hour. My best advice for you if you want to grow on the platform. If you want to get any gig. So a few quick questions, and even when you grow on the platform, you need to be very intentional because there is, and this is a very pragmatic thing I'll share with you. Um, there are the Westerners, they're the Westerners, and they are the Black people, right? So there's West white people, there's the Black people as an African, and there's Nigerian, right? So the truth is, with what the people who are misguided do across the world, it affects everybody's image, right? So they will first want to pick a white person or pick another Black person before they pick a Nigerian or any other person in an African country that is doing a lot of Yahoo Yahoo and all those silly things. So you need to factor that into creating a winning profile for them, which shows in what you offer them, your price range, and all of that. It's just something you have to work with and deal with. So as you boost your profile, get to top rated talent, top rated plus, you can start demanding more, right? Because now they can be sure that this person delivers strong value, right? Don't start from the beginning and start putting different things on your profile. No wishful thinking. Be very pragmatic, right? So here would, for the sake of this walkthrough, would select, I have some experience. So what are you trying to do here? For some of us, we have different reasons. Let's say to earn my main income. And you can skip them for now, but for the sake of this, I'm going to just walk us through it. I like to find opportunities myself. I like to package up my work for clients to buy. You can select both because there are two opportunities, but I'll tell you that clients use this one the most, right? But you can select both, right? But clients use this one the most. Clients were using this for a while, but they stopped. This one they use majorly now. Then after that, you see this, I'm open to contract to hire opportunities. Some people, some buyers, when they come on Upwork, they want to work with someone first under contract and then hire you full time, right? So this is for those who are interested in becoming a full-time part of a company, a full-time hire in a company, as opposed to continue freelancing on and on. So you just make your choice, and whatever it is, you either select or leave that open. I would like to tell us about yourself, fill it out manually. I mean, you can put stuff there. For the sake of this, we'll just select digital marketing. You select a couple of suggested skills that align. This is going to help you rank when a buyer is making search on Upwork, right? Keywords like this or skills would help you rank. So a prospect might say, oh, I need digital marketing for my brand, right? If you have digital marketing, I'm going to work with that keyword digital marketing, right? So I'm going to use that to do some descriptions. So, you have to put it in your skills, make sure it shows. and this is the point of SEO, or yeah, or the Upwork engine optimization, however I want to call it, right? It's important that you have keywords that you intend to rank for when building your profile, and make sure it shows in almost everything, right? It will show in your title, it will show in your description, your description of what you do and the value you offer. Use it as, and I go as far as putting it as the title of my pictures. So if I'm uploading a project picture, instead of putting information image.png, I'll edit it. When people are searching, right? Talk about organic paid growth. What I believe would work for you as a beginner on Upwork and maybe other platforms as well. So your professional role, it's the very first thing clients see. So make it count, as you see. Stand out by describing your expertise in your own words, right? So before you do that, one of the very first things I'd advise that you do is um, ask what are the digital marketing keywords ranking on Upwork. Create an Upwork profile title. I mean, I like giving AI context when I'm working with it, right? So it understands what I'm trying to achieve, right? See that. So it says strong digital marketing keywords on Upwork right now, digital marketing, SEO. So it then depends on what I do out of these things, right? And then I take that and apply it, right? So let's say I do digital marketing, I do a couple of things, I do SEO, Google Ads, social media marketing. I mean, I think this is already going too far. Yeah. Okay, I think I'd like to work with this. Google Ads, and so you need to specialize, right? Google Ads and Meta Ads Specialist, PPC lead generation, digital marketing. All right, cool. I'll take that. Okay, so I didn't even want the lead generation in the first place. So getting my digital marketing back. If you notice, digital marketing is here, right? If there's enough space, I'd like to, I mean, because when it comes to Meta or Google Ads, it applies to every kind of business or any kind of business who wants. But if you wanted to specialize, I would say I specialize in doing this for e-commerce brands, right? No. Okay. Just to keep this as practical as possible, I mean, you can just so you can also like replicate the workflow and get the best results. Okay. All right. So the research suggests Google Ads and Meta Ads Specialists. This is what performs perfectly for that, right? But because of identification, you know, it has the keywords. So the keywords will really tell that, oh, this is what this person does, right? So Google Ads and Meta Ads Specialists, e-commerce, PPC, and growth. But it leaves out our digital marketing, right? That leaves out our digital marketing. Okay, so that can be further optimized, but for the sake of this call, let's just move forward. You want to state who it works for, right? So we'll move forward. So if you have relevant work, this is where you put it in. Like I said, you need to build out your case study And then you're going to start putting that. You're going to first of all, you're going to put your work experience right here. Who you've worked for. It could be other clients. You just literally just take that, provide all the details. Which one, for example, school location, Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. Um, let's see. Let me put a year. All right. Sometimes it's good when you are able to also go further to put description, which is communicate the value you offer to them, right? Communicate the value that you offer to them, right? When you write it out, then come here, right, and put it here and tell the AI to plug in your keywords, the keywords that you saw are best, which is this is what we decided to go with. This or this, right? So plug in keywords when necessary, right? It will put that and put in your keywords. If you notice, we're still talking keywords. I said it's an important step in creating your profile. You add your education as well. I'll skip this for now. You add the languages you speak. Definitely it's a global space. You must speak English very well. The most important thing is you need to understand what you hear. But there are levels to these things. I'll tell you. Even after I've had a lot of exposure with them, this year I got on a call with an interesting set of white people having discussions, and I literally heard only about 70%, right? Because there are some who speak very, very conk English, right? Especially when it comes to British English. So basically, you want to say something reasonable, conversational. If you're conversational, my English is pretty native, so I would use native. Right. Now, this is where you write your bio, right? This is where you write your bio. Look at an example, right? Marty G. I'm a developer experience in developing websites for small and medium. You can see he mentioned who he does it for. Whether you are trying to win work, list your services, or create a new online store, I can help, right? So he's talking about the outcome, and I can help you achieve that outcome. Then he points out other things within that achieving that outcome, other things, the detail of services that falls within that outcome, trying to achieve that outcome, right? Okay, it requires some development work, some UI/UX design work, and so you don't want to be spread thin, right? If you help people build websites that sell, surely you do layout and then the development of it, maybe using a content management system. So you want to say that, but this is the trick that I want to share with you. When you are doing that, make sure you come back here and when you build out what you have, put it here and make sure that it plugs in those keywords, right? Make sure that it plugs in those keywords. Create an Upwork bio. You're not going to come and say create an Upwork bio, but for the sake of this, right? Just so we can pass through. This is too much, actually, but yeah. And just so we settle on Upwork bio just a little bit, right? This is number 8. The things that you want to show here. So at the beginning of this, you want to make sure that these first 2 lines sell the most, right? You want to make sure that these first 2 lines sell the most. Why? Profiles are shown in cards, horizontal cards, when a buyer is looking at it. Remember, I said, make sure to try to walk through Upwork or any platform of your choice like a buyer would, and you will see exactly how to position and how to do things. All of these things came from when I explored it. I was on the platform for years, but when I explored it as a buyer, I saw someone else mention it. I explored it as a buyer, and I got a lot of insights on how I will position to make sure that I'm able to, drive more conversions, right? So the reason I said these 2 lines are important is when your profile shows, your name shows, all of these show. Maybe if you're incorporated, individual and all of that, it shows, then the first two lines show, right? And these first two lines, you want to make sure that you communicate the outcome that you offer for who, and then show proof, right? They are scanning through, there are a lot of people. So you can put maybe the number of projects you've done, if you've done quite a number, maybe so anything you can sell yourself in those two lines. And it doesn't have to be full sentences. It can just be uh, meta ads 100 plus guarantee, right? I like to give a guarantee, right? And that's one of the things that people can't stand behind. Like I said, remember, one of the most important things is having the integrity of making sure that you can actually do things you claim you can do for people. When you can do that, the rest is history, right? So the most important thing is, can you give a guarantee, right? Work out some form of guarantee that you can stand behind, right? And make sure you always use it to sell, right? People are trying to buy, and when they are trying to buy, it's a risk, right? Try to de-risk their buying experience. De-risk it, make it less of a risk, right? But make sure that that guarantee you're giving will not bite you. Make sure it's clear. Make sure people can't take advantage and twist it. Make sure you understand, right? So put up a guarantee that works in this line. It converts, right? Anybody that tells anything different is lying to you. Put some guarantee that you can stand behind, and I won't bite you in the back, right? So make the best use of these first two lines when creating your bio, and it'll help people scan and work through things. Now, on your hourly rates, you get to choose what your hourly rate is. I won't give you an hourly rate you should choose, but make sure you make your research, right? Okay, let's do this. Let's do this research. What is the average hourly rate of in my space? Categorize them based on, I mean, you can do this research yourself by just going through Upwork, right? Westerners, Africans, and Asians. These are the people in this space, right? Um, Indians mostly. Indians always crash the market, just so you know. Indians always spoil the market for everyone. Just some feedback that you take note of. Indians most especially, right? Right. Okay. Right. So as you can see, right, you can see the ranges of prices that people charge for these things. Interestingly, oh yeah, based on my research, yes, Indians are now even charging better, higher, I won't call it better, higher than Africans. I mean, it's really about the value of that money to your standard of living. Um, yeah, so it's really the power of the currency, of your currency. If there are some people who are not Nigerians, it's really about the value of the power of the currency. So some things might work for you, but seem cheaper on the global scale. So just be very tactical about this. So if you are starting, I would not expect that you come towards this place. I would expect you are around here, right? And if you're even smart enough, you can even go just a tad bit below, right? Because your first goal is not money, right? I mentioned this on the previous call. Your first goal is proof of work on Upwork, right? Which should come with the project marked there and testimonials there. Those are the first testimonials that people look out for, right? They are more strengths. So think brand, like I said, always think brand first. So you want to do that, and then gradually you're able to gradually start growing your, rates upward. Strong specialists range between this, this is one for India, South Asia, generally, Nigerians, in particular. That's for those who are Nigerians. Let's see what we have for Nigerians. Yeah, low cost of beginner, yeah. Junior, yeah. Specialist. Yeah, exactly. So I think don't consider this as, oh, I'm a solid specialist. I know how to do the work. you need to factor it on Upwork. Like, are you a junior specialist as signified by Upwork, not by your own claim, right? So that's what you should use to trade this. So no matter how good you are, if you are starting, if you're a beginner on Upwork, you're a beginner. If you are intermediate on Upwork, you're intermediate, right? So use this with your discretion, right? I hope that helps. For the sake of what research we've made, right? And then a few last details, which is where you put in your other details. I'm not sure. Okay. So after you fill this in, then you get to review your profile. When you review your profile, and then, they give you an update of the fact that, you've gotten your profile and then you can proceed with that. So that's the presentation. That's the practical steps for today. And I'm just going to go back and then close with a couple of points from our presentation there, right? Okay, content connect strategy. Oh, this is the fantastic point, right? So as you're starting an Upwork, when we started an Upwork, the truth is Upwork gave us free connects, right? All a bunch of these platforms give free connects. But the interesting thing, I'll tell you how these guys think. The interesting thing is that most of them, they have a lot of investment, so they are doing everything every day to make money for their investors, right? To give their investors returns. So they start to give less and just try to collect as much as possible. Every day we are innovating and bringing new things on how people can continue spending money on these platforms, right? So it's quite interesting. So if as a beginner, you don't need to be very tactical to get your first work. It's harder, true. It's harder now than it was then. But I'll tell you one thing that can work across these platforms, right? Um, and I don't think you should be afraid of hard. Hard is what you should get used to so that you are one of those people that qualifies, right? Because hard itself is relative. A lazy person will call hard what a strong person or determined person will call easy, right? So it's a relative term. So become hard, become harder than hard, right? And you will enjoy all of this space and a lot of aspects of life. Uh, so while proposals, so there are two ways, right? There's your profile and there's proposals. So right now, Upwork doesn't give connect. So when you're a beginner, last I checked, right? Upwork doesn't give connect. So what I'd advise you do, let me check. 1 minute. Right? Yes. Oh, fantastic. A one-time free bonus of 50 free connects. Thank you. Good to hear that. All right. So you get 50 free connects, right? You get 50 free connects. But then it's quite tricky, right? Don't use those connects to send a proposal. Please do not. Please do not use your first set of connects to send proposal, right? Because people don't really see all proposals. When somebody creates a um, a project and says, "Oh, anybody can send proposals," a lot, tens of people, of gig workers, send proposals to that particular individual. So there's a less likelihood that you'll be chosen, right? Because there are a lot of people. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Sorry, everyone. Right. So because there are a lot of people, so there's a less likelihood that you will be selected, because then they will have to look at your pitch, all of that stuff. I think what you should do is boost your profile, right? Because when you send a proposal, right, you use connects to send that proposal, and now you even have to use connects to boost the proposal, right? If you don't boost that proposal, and if you see people who are in the game, they use a lot of connects to boost that proposal, right? So it's not your best bet, right? It's not your best bet as a beginner, right? And there's a likelihood that you will not be seen, right? And then there'll be other top players that will push their best foot forward, and you who are new on the platform might not get a chance. So it's just the likelihood is too low for you to bet on that. What I advise you bet on is something called Boost Profile, right? And Boost Profile, is what I said here, make sure your profile is strong, has the right keyword so that you can grow organically, right? But also, right, you want to make sure that you can boost your profile, right? So when you boost your profile, uh, when you actually bid, so you can it depends on your space, what is competitive. So depending on your space, let's say for your own space, let's say digital marketing might be 25 connects per click, 20 connects per click, 25 connects per click. So if you boost your profile, Upwork won't charge you, or any of these platforms, but since case studies Upwork, Upwork won't charge you connect until somebody actually clicks. Now your job is to make sure that the clicks you get must convert into customers, right? Those clicks that you end up getting must convert. That's your assignment. So those 50 free connects, do it, boost your profile, and I mean, there's a way to there's something called there's something I experimented called positioning in boosting profiles. So you see your industry space, you see your specialty. Make sure you select the right things, and look for the keywords that might not be very competitive but align with what the outcome a user is trying to find, right? Yeah. So when you do that, in the end, when you boost your profile, so Upwork will allow you boost your profile below the amount of connects. So if everybody's boosting, if the new average is 20, Upwork will allow you put less than 20. You have to put that 20 or upward, right? Like I said, I've told you the ideology. They're just trying to make money, right? But you also trying to build a brand off of them. So you have to be very tactical. So when you do that, make sure, now the remaining part of your work, if you do all of these things that I've mentioned, right, and do them well, right, you should be able to convert one or two clicks into a customer. Your goal is to convert at least one of those two clicks that you might get into a customer. And once you do that, that's the beginning of your journey on Upwork. You do your first project. When you do your first project, your first goal is not to withdraw money and spend it. Please first buy your next round of connects. Possibly they won't spend it at all. First buy your next round of connects, right? Like the principle says, be fruitful, then multiply. So when you get your first, use connects to go back to boost your profile. Okay, we've talked about pricing. So in summary, do you make sure you have your portfolio, bring your outside projects. 2, testimonials, borrow trust you already earned. 3, let clients, for videos, let clients see and hear, okay, there's an error here. Let clients see and hear about you from others, right? So other people putting themselves, put your clients. In the video I shared with you, that was a video of 3 clients, not just one, but 3 clients talking about the work I had done for them. There's no way people won't choose to work with me, right? It's just the concept. It's just the principles of the world, right? So the next point is your positioning. Make your title and opening lines count. I mentioned that because they are all steps. So you want people to see your profile amongst others to click, right? So your title and those first 2 lines will lead to that click. Then when they click and get on your profile, what's the rest of things you have there, your videos, your testimonials brought from outside, the rest of your description, everything will then lead your portfolio, right? The rest of those things will then lead to conversion, right? Conversion is not immediately they hire you. Conversion is they now reach out and say, hi, I would like to do this. Now, that's your last layer of conversion, right? So be honest and make sure you can do the offered value and then prove to them. Prove to them. Remember, in their minds, they are just asking themselves, would this person do it or not do it well? Just make sure you de-risk. Make sure that you keep on de-risking. Prove to them. I'll give you an example. There was a client that reached out to me. Oh, I'd like to do this kind of work, blah, blah, blah. And I reached out to the client and said, oh, yes, thank you for reaching out. Always thank them for reaching out. And then I mentioned how I could help them move value. This is what I did. Before I reached out, when I saw the person reach out, I saw their name, saw the company. I went to make my research about the company before my first response. But don't make it take long, right? Do it super quick, right? You have AI to make research for you. Make your research super fast. When you're coming back to them, come back to them informed and make sure it shows that you're informed, right? And do it intelligently. So when they say, oh, this person has already done their assignment to send me their first response, automatically, how they feel is that this person is going to make my life simpler. It worked. So the particular person didn't send a follow-up message, and then I came back to the individual more informed. That's when I ran the test, with more informed about their brand and what I was going to do, and then the rest is history. So it's super important. People want you to make their lives easier. not just the outcome, but even the experience. Outcome is one, experience is another. So use the keywords clients search for, right? Your connects, spend it to be found, not just to apply. Please do that. Then pricing. Um, uh, so you can buy your first reviews, then raise your rates. But I would not advise you generally do that all the time. What I advise you do is bring in people, right, from outside to start, and then you can gradually build up of that. People have, gone through the process of buying reviews. I'm not sure it's usually it's still accepted today, but those are things you can do to really move forward, right? I hope this helps. Okay. So just so I can take our questions now, I'm just going to run through a few questions that have been asked here. Okay, please come with your questions and I can just run through them. Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure. Okay. Okay. Loretta, you want to help with that? Oh, we can't hear you, or I can't hear you.
Thank you, Martini, for this eye-opening session.
It's a pleasure.
It was
Thank
really
you.
educating, and I don't know about you guys, but I've learned a lot from this. I'm going to set up my profile. In fact, I'm not a gig worker. So we have a lot of questions for you. So before we start with the questions, we quickly want to answer questions from the technical questions related to voucher.
Okay.
So we'll be bringing up our team member who will speak on the vouchers because we've seen a lot of questions on voucher. Then after that, we'll go over to you. Is
Perfect.
that
Sounds
fine?
good. Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So, yes, guys, welcome our voucher manager, Amina, to speak on the voucher request and what you've been asking. My voucher is not active. I can't access my voucher. Which hub am I going to go to? She's here for you. So now ask the question that you have. She's going to answer that. So we'll do this quickly so that we can go to the next session. So yes, someone is saying, how can we have access to our facilities? So Amina, over to you.
Hello, drivers. Please confirm if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much, Loretta. Hello, drivers. I'm super happy to be here. Um, Hi, Suraj. So you're asking how you can access our facilities. So you need to give context to that. You need to tell me what state you are currently at, so I can give you the names of the hubs that we have for those states. Next question.
Yeah. So the next question, we have my problem. I've not redeemed my voucher. So I get this person probably asking how to redeem his or her voucher.
Okay, so for you to redeem your voucher, you need to go to your student portal. You need to make a request. There's a voucher icon on your portal to request for voucher. Once you do that, you are supposed to get it. In the process of requesting, I think you get to also select your hub, then you get your voucher. Once you get that, you can take the voucher code to the hub to redeem your voucher. So that answers that.
Okay, guys, I hope you are listening and taking notes of the answers. So the next question says, Ma, which course? Because my voucher was showing inactive all the time.
So when your voucher icon shows inactive, it just simply means that you don't have a live voucher. So ideally, when you make a request and you get a voucher, if you go back to check it, you will see that it changes to active. That means you have a live voucher that needs to be redeemed at the home. So if it's showing inactive, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are ineligible to access voucher. All you have to do is just go ahead and make a request and you get the voucher if you're eligible.
Okay, so the next question. My question is, when I receive voucher, it's compulsory to use it in the computer center you provide, or can I leave it to use it on my phone?
So voucher in this context is not airtime or data. Voucher is a hub access. So it we already have certain hubs that we have partnerships with across the 10 program states that we have in Gateway. So what the voucher does for you is to just give you free access to that hub. We've paid for it. All you have to do is just go there, tender your voucher, and you have access to um, the hub. Voucher in this context is not airtime and it's not data, so you cannot use it on your phone. You have to go to one of our partner hubs, not just any computer center as you stated in this question. It has to be our partner hubs.
Thank you for that answer. So I believe we are all clear on that. So the next person is asking, how can I get a computer from my hub because I'm using smartphone?
Um, the hubs are not going to give you computers. You are supposed to go there and use their own computer. Please, drivers, let's not go to the hub and carry people's laptop.
No, no, no.
So please, the point of you having access to the hub is just for you to use their own computer or laptop. So it is not for you. However, I know that at the end of the program, certain things are being put in place for people that are interested in our loan. So they'll be able to get a laptop loan at the end of the program.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Really appreciate your time. I want to believe that's all for voucher. Or are they? Oh, they're still asking. So how can we use the voucher code?
So while you requested for your voucher, I'm sure you selected a particular hub. Just take the voucher code to the hub and redeem your voucher.
Okay,
That's it. But
I believe it's clear now, drivers. Are you clear on that? Another request. I have a problem about my voucher. I request my voucher, but I think you know the rest.
I have a
So they are
problem.
requesting and they can't get the voucher code.
So two things are involved. If you make a request for voucher and you don't get the voucher, most times, especially if you are eligible and you've previously redeemed the voucher, it's because there are certain the way we've done our voucher system, we've done it in such a way that it has to cover your entire time on your course. So let me use growth pathway as an example. For growth pathway, you are entitled to 15 vouchers. We have spread those vouchers to cut across your entire stay on your program. So it means that when you start your course, you have a number of vouchers that you can access. When you get halfway, you have a number of vouchers that you can access. We've seen cases where some people are still on gig readiness course and they've used 9 vouchers out of 15. And that voucher is supposed to go and automatically they will not be able to request for another voucher. In that situation, or you progress in your course, once you're able to progress further, you would be able to request for voucher at some point. So yes, you've exhausted the voucher within that milestone that we've set. So basically saying that you have, let's say, 3 months to take your course. There are a number of vouchers that you can access within those months. So once you exceed it, you'll not be able to get a voucher until you progress in your course. Thank you, Loretta.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time, Amina. Thank you, guys. I believe the questions on voucher, you really understood what she explained. And if you need to ask further, the email address is there on the screen, worktools at gateway.ccob.africa. Thank you, Amina, for your time. So, guys, we're going to go over now to questions for the trainer. What you've been trained on just now by Martini and Okpe. So what questions do you have concerning the training? Start bringing up the questions so they are here to answer you so that you get every clarity you need. So questions, guys, don't be cold, please. Don't be cold. Put your questions in the chat box there. Put your questions in the chat box. They are here for you. Questions, guys. Questions, guys. Okay. The question from Ganiyu Adebayo. She was asking a question around the module 5 of the general gig work course, that she doesn't understand the portfolio tax around there on the general gig work course. I believe she would, I'm saying this so that she can ask the question again before she comes up. So someone is saying, please, I have skills in AI automation, brand identity, and digital marketing. Is it better to share my skills across multiple platforms or focus on one? I don't want to come I don't want to come across as a generalist. So I think that question is for the both of you. So any of you can answer. Sorry, Opa, if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
Okay. Can can you hear
Okay,
me?
yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Continue. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, this is a really good question, and this I'm excited that you really took note of that when we mentioned it. So, like I said, the all of these things look like things that can be brought together into one, um, because everything you stated here are not necessarily an outcome, right? I think the clarity is what outcome do you achieve for a particular, for your target customer, right? Have clarity on who you want to serve, have a clear outcome of what you want to do for them, right? And then, like I said, there'll be other sub things that would make up that particular thing, right? But you have just one outcome that you commit to achieving for brands, right? And it has to be specific, right, and clear. So most times, all of these things fit into that in one way or the other, right? But then the real truth, if we were to ask each other, is you're not, you can't rate yourself on the same level across these things, right? What I'm hoping is that you are best at digital marketing, right? But if that's not the case, then if it is AI automation, then maybe you need a position for AI automation or for marketing automation, right? So really, where does your strength really lie? Then the other ones can be subs that actually power power you to achieve that particular thing, right? So if it's brand identity, so let me just help you out. So if it's brand identity that is top amongst what I see here, then you want to communicate that you help brands create identity that actually helps drive interaction or helps drive loyal brand audience, right? So because you're going to apply understanding and analysis in that branding, it's not just going to be design, right? It's an outcome-oriented design, right? So and then you would all definitely automate one or two things within your workflow as a freelancer or a gig worker, right? So if it's digital marketing, there'll be some touch of branding there, and if you want to create a design, they want you to run a social media campaign, there's automation that you can run for social media posting. So you need to know what is your primary, and that primary, right, should lead the front, right? Because the primary will let you be able to state that, okay, this is the outcome I achieve for these people, and you focus on that. People don't really care about, oh, you do brand identity, you do digital marketing. What they care about the most is what can you get me, right? So can you get me customers? Is that what you're saying? Right? Can you get me a large brand audience? Is that what you're saying? So really, you need to talk about the outcome, and you see that all of these things will just fold into them, and you know where exactly to put them. I hope that helps. Okay.
Okay, thank you
Um,
very much, Martini. So we have another question from Gospel Akpan from Lagos. Say, please, concerning the platforms like Upwork, please, can you shed more light on using the free connect and boosting our profile? So I want to believe this person came in late, but maybe you can
yeah.
quickly brush through it.
Okay. Sure. All right. So like I said, there are two options on going on Upwork. There are three, but one isn't really solid, and that's one I mentioned before, where you would have like package projects, package offerings. Then people will come and select, oh, I want this offering, and then it's already priced. You put the price for that offering and all of that, right? But those ones don't perform so well on Upwork. They perform more on Fiverr. So on Upwork, you have two options: to send proposals or for people to visit your profile. People want to search and pick by themselves. Some people even create invite-only projects, right? So what you want to do there is ensure that you boost your profile for somebody who just has free connects. You have higher chances. That's what I mentioned. So I'm walking you through because I guess you didn't hear at the time. So basically, Upwork has a minimum number of connects you can put for your profile depending on the industry you're in. So it depends on how competitive your industry is and the keyword or the specialty you're trying to go for. So for example, if Upwork gives 50 connects, that's all we also on the call here. So if you see 20 connects per click, if that's what is the average in your space, you do 20 and push for two clicks. That's 40 connects, right? And then make sure that you optimize your profile very well. I don't know if this is recorded, but there's a lot more you should know. But because of time, those are the things I can say. I hope that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for this. So, yes, this session it's recorded, and you can also go back to the link and watch it. And it's also going to be on the LMS. So, for those who are just joining, I know you have a lot of questions, but he actually explained in detail. So, you can go back to your LMS and watch again or replay live on YouTube. So, someone is saying, if someone can see this message, please, on which platform can we use to get clients as starters, beginners, regards? Okay.
Yeah. There's Upwork. There are platforms, and there are platforms that, the question then would be, what platforms will work for a Nigerian or an African, right? Um, there's, first off, please check the mark of the fact that you are good at what you do, right? Because regardless of the platform, if you can't really deliver the value, it will be hard for you to get. Every platform is competitive, right? So, but you can definitely grow yourself on each platform. So I'll say you should go on Upwork, right, as a starting platform. There are a couple of African-based freelance platforms. There's one. I'm just going to do a quick search. 1% vetted freelancers form. Right. Yeah. There is TopTal. TopTal is for experts, right? It's for the experts of the experts of the experts. So if you're a really good specialist, you can go there and you can demand anything you want to demand. That's the world. They are the top 3% in the world of everything. So if you're that good, definitely go on there. There's Fiverr. There's something called Free Up now. There's also Upwork. So there are many other platforms with a Google search or with search on any of these platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, tell it to make a research for you, to find it. But you can also give it that context, one that will work for a Nigerian, and see what it gives you. But not in Nigeria. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for that. So we have one question more. As a beginner, which platform seems best for me as a product designer? Also, I don't have a laptop or smartphone. Will the whole process be easy or possible?
To be honest with you, it'll not be easy for you. You need a laptop. As a product designer, if you say programming, you create UI UX designs. So I would advise that. You don't have to have a laptop of your own. You can work with anybody's laptop, right? I didn't work with my laptop when I started my journey. So if you have a sibling, a friend who has, you can always use some time in their system and then do what you have to do, right? So you can always find a way. Once there's a will, there's always a way. So a platform, I think, really, it's less about the platform. It's more about how committed you are. People jump around across platforms. What I advise you do is pick a platform, confirm that it works for Nigerians. But that means they don't segregate, right? You can literally grow on the platform. Once you see that, take that platform and sit on it, right? Sit on it like a hen will sit on her eggs, right? And you see that you get results. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way to get
So
it.
the next one says, as a UI UX design learner, what should I start doing now to prepare myself for my freelance gig?
A learner, what should I start doing now? Do more and more and more designs. As many designs as you can do. Like go through that process, creating all designs for yourself. Use that to create design for people in your next network, your family, friends, anybody that is within your network, your schoolmates, anyone that knows you, use that to move to your next layer. But when you do that, build, get honest feedback, like I said, get testimonials, honest testimonials, and make sure you satisfy them. That's your goal. So get honest feedback, get testimonials, and build case studies, right? Um, I really think that you should not just say I'm a UI UX designer, right? Because AI designs, right? And this is a feedback for every single person here, right? Including on chat. We're moving to a world where you can't just say I'm a UX designer. You have to say I do this for you with UI UX design, right?
Yeah.
AI designs, right? So because I expect you as UX designer to also use AI to make yourself better. So what you really want to tell people is this is how I can change your life. This is how I can move your business forward with UI UX design, right? Yeah, I hope that helps.
Okay. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
guys. I believe all the
Oh,
questions you
fantastic.
asked, you are satisfied with the answer. And you still have more
Okay.
questions to ask, please
Yeah.
replay the video. Go back
Yeah.
to your LMS. It's going to be on your LMS. You can replay the video and watch, and make sure you practice everything you've learned now. Because a lot of you have been asking questions on how can I build my portfolio, or how do I arrange my portfolio. It has been explained today, so you take your time to practicalize everything you've been taught today. So we're moving on to our general questions because I've seen a lot of questions around the gateway program. So for the general question, before I move on to that, I just want to remind you guys, tribals, for the general gig work, that the general gig work is meant to be for 1 month. You're supposed to take the course for 1 month. I saw a question in the chat box that said that if it's possible to do the course within 3 to 4 days, fine. If you can do it within 3 to 4 days, even within a week or 2 weeks, that's fine. But ensure that you are doing the right thing. When I mean the right thing, you're doing submitting the best portfolio tax, you're submitting the best capstone, you're really putting what you've learned into practical, and you're doing getting the best out of it. So if you're doing the general gig work, if you want to finish within 3 to 4 days, your niche, if it's digital marketing, UI UX design, ensure you are submitting the right thing and you understand the question very well, so that when you start to pitch to your clients in the future, you know how to picture and you know you are submitting the right thing, because it will be viewed by the trainers and you can be graded on it. So also, I also want to tell you that it's not just general gig work. Don't be stuck in general gig work. After general gig work, move to business management, then you move to financial management, because the juice is actually at the end of the tunnel. Because you have already been asking us that how do you monetize your skills now? You've learned general gig work, how do you monetize it? So go to business management. You'll be taught there how to monetize your skills. You'll be taught on how to manage your business. Then you go to financial management. You'll be taught on how to manage your finances. Now you're seeing gigs now. How do you manage that money? Do you just want to be like the flyer that goes around that on payday you eat chicken, then end of the month you start eating what? I'll leave that for you to answer. So please, guys, the general gig work is just for a month, and the growth pathway is for 3 months. But if you can finish before that, that's fine. That's fine, provided you are getting the best out of it. Then from there, we'll now transition you to the gig work opportunity, where you will now be taught on how to pitch yourself and how to submit your portfolio on different platforms, including the one Mr. Martini has mentioned. So guys, come up with your question, ask your questions, because we have few minutes left for this session. And also don't forget to fill the attendance form. The attendance form is on the chat, so fill this while you're asking your question. So Jamil Rabi is saying, is it acceptable for someone to spend like a complete day on the course or more till he finishes it? Yes, it's possible. You can do it if you know you have the time and you can submit your portfolio tax, the right portfolio tax. You're not going to do a ChatGPT assignment for us. Do it according to what you have been required, what is required of you, and you submit it. Fine. You can do it within 3 to 4 days, no problem. You mustn't wait 1 minute. The better for us. And I started the gig work as a digital marketing, but I want to change and turn to graphic designer. So for the program, there's no room to change. There's no room to change. So if you're on digital marketing, just finish the digital marketing. Then you can learn your graphic design in the future. No problem. No problem. So as they said, focus on one niche. Don't be jack of all trade, master of none. Focus on one niche and get the best out of it. I've already compared the orientation course, but it has stayed at 95% since last week. So you're advised to log out of your LMS and go to your portal. Try to sync, go to the sync button on your portal, sync it to the LMS, and it's going to move on to 100%. But before you do that, ensure that you've completed all modules activities. You view them, you've submitted your assignments, your portfolio tasks, and everything has been marked as done. And if it still persists, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at training@gateway.cchub.africa, training@gateway.cchub.africa. Please send your mail to us and we'll answer that. I still can't access my course on LMS. So I want to believe that you're registered for the digital marketing and the UI UX design. If you register for the digital marketing and UI UX design, please just note that it is hosted on Google Coursera. So you're supposed to be learning there. So please reach out to us and would check why you are not being onboarded. Like I said, training@gateway.cchub.africa. Reach out to us and we'll check why you've not been onboarded. So please, till now, the other 2 courses left, business management and financial management, isn't coming up till now. What do I do? Like I mentioned earlier, Nathaniel, you have to ensure that you finish your general gig work course. If you finish your general gig work course, log out of the LMS and go to the portal, sync the course so that it moves to 100% and bring out the next course for you. And if you finished it, automatically it brings out the next course. So ensure that all your activities have been completed and all your portfolio assignments submitted. So that's that. So guys, bring the questions coming. We are about rounding up, and don't forget to fill the attendance form in the chat box. The link is in the chat box. The link is in the chat box. Don't forget to fill attendance in the chat box. So there's a question on capstone projects, which will be coming up now, so that I'll give room for the trainer to answer that. So someone asked this question. He said the general gig work course capstone clarification. I'm currently at the capstone section of the gig worker course, and I would appreciate some clarification before proceeding with the project. The requirement for the capstone project says footage requirements. Are we required to physically film a house or a property, or are we allowed to use AI generated footage or content? Then for color grading, what is expected of us for this part, as there wasn't a module specifically teaching how to color grade? Then for the learning part, confirmation on whether the correct path has been followed or if any necessary modules were missed. Please clarify these requirements and let me know if there are any lessons or resources to review before starting. So I think this person needs more clarification on the capstone project. So over to you for this question. If you'd.
Okay. Thank you. Can you help the video on? All right. Video on. Well, can you hear me?
Okay, that's fine. Yes, we can hear you. It's fine. Just you can go on. You can go on. We can hear you.
Okay, so I believe that this question is for the video editing capstone project, because yeah, I think that's what this is for.
Yes.
So just to provide clarity, sorry.
I say yes. You're correct. You can go on.
Yeah. So what you are required to do is to produce a 30 to 60-second promotional reel, which obviously means you have to take a picture. I mean, you have to take the video. So you are promoting a luxury home, right? So the idea is that you're supposed to use your video editing skills to show how you are promoting Oasis Luxury Home, which is the sort of name given to the brand that's engaged you. So you're supposed to produce a 30 to 60-second promotional reel, and basically you're supposed to apply, your different editing skills. So that's where all the color grading and all those things come into play. So in summary, right, you're supposed to actually create the film. So it's a 60-second film, and then edit it, right? So apply the right color grades depending on, and that's up to you. You can define what color grade. We're not limiting you to a particular color. So define the right color grades, and I mean just demonstrate how you're also using AI. So for example, what are the colors that are luxury in nature, right? What are the colors that I should use that are attractive for luxury branding? Yeah. So those are things that you need to use as your, as your uh, statements that back what you're doing. So why am I using this color? Is because this color is appealing to people in that premium segment. So so that's what the whole thing is really talking about. So you are doing a reel, but you're also showing your editing skills in terms of how you are color grading and how you are, providing guidelines as to why you did what you did, so that the client can understand, why you arrived at the outcome.
Okay, thank you for that. I want to believe that is clear for the participants who asked this question. So I know someone was asking, okay, before I move on to Ganiat, you said, am I supposed to do all the capstone projects or the one related to my niche, which is digital marketing? I'll leave that okay.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. You're supposed to do the one that is specific to your niche. So digital marketing. Yeah.
Yes, so you do digital marketing. That's what you know. I don't think you have experience in graphic design. So if that's your strength, do it. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Please fill the attendance form. So I want to tell you that a lot of participants have started getting gig work from this program. So after going through the general gig work, the business management and the financial management, they've started getting gig work. Well, in fact, we're going to be featuring them in the next session, the next month section. So this is one of the enhancement stories that one of you shared with us. He said, my confidence has grown a lot. Before, I was scared of taking clients' work because I did not know how to brand myself. This course changed my mindset. I now understand the difference between being a generalist and a specialist. The lesson about monthly retainers opened my eyes to stable income. The most helpful part was the practical portfolio questions and AI tools training. They gave me concrete examples I can use to pitch to clients. Now I feel ready to start applying for gigs and deliver global standard work. Beautiful. This is really beautiful. So what are you waiting for? If you've not started the course or you're still delaying yourself, you've not started the course, you're still delaying yourself, you're giving yourself that there's no more time for you. So if you know you started in May, you should be running up with the growth pathway in general. You should be running up with the growth pathway in general. So what's the difference between growth and foundation pathway? So the growth pathway is for those who already have the foundational skills in the skill track that we are delivering in the program. That you have the foundational skills for digital marketing, UI UX design, graphic design, and for video production and editing. So you are in the growth pathway. You are not going to learn anything from the foundation. So you're going straight to how to get gigs. You're going straight to how to get money, how to monetize the skills you already have. Then for the foundation pathway, it's strictly for those who have no foundational skills, and it's strictly for women. So people are asking, why women only? That's the program. So the program is capturing foundation for women only. For women only. So if there are any changes in the future, we'll let you know. But for now, foundations is for women. So please, yes, Jamilu Rabi, yes, keep updating your profile, keep boosting your profile, like the facilitator has said, keep boosting your profile and ensure that you focus on your niche, pitch on your niche very well, and do more work. You can do more work for free for now, so that you get more portfolio to submit on your profile when you're creating your profile. Thank you guys for today's session. Today's session was wonderful, eye-opening. I believe you want to agree with that with me. It was really eye-opening, and please practicalize what you've learned today. Practicalize it. Thank you, and see you in the next school session. Have a nice day. Bye. Thank you, Ope.
I've been stuck on the sidelines watching life. Same routine, just getting by. Skills on top, kicks passing by. Too much grind, not enough pay. I know there's more and I won't pretend. This is where the change begins. No more waiting, no more doubt. Right now's the time, I'm breaking out. No distractions, no excuses now. I'm locked in, I made a vow. From learning hands to earning plans, I rise, I build, I understand. The gate is open, I'm walking in. Through the gateway I begin. From learning to earning, I'm on my way. Turning my skills into gigs every day. We rise again. skills into paying gigs. I see the vision crystal clear. Opportunity is here. What I build is what I own. I plant the seed, I fully grow. No more doubt, I know my worth. I'm creating value on this earth. Step by step, I claim my space. Rome is now my daily base. The gate is open, I'm walking in. Oh, through the getaway I begin. From learning to earning on my way, turning my skills into gigs every day. We rise together, we will break. Every move is mine to make. The gate is open, I'm stepping through. I dignify life, I'm coming through. Oh, oh, oh. This is my moment, this is my call. I stand up strong, I won't fall. Through the gateway, I claim my place.